Welcome to the deep dive. We sort through the noise to find what really counts.
Glad to be here.
So today, we're looking at a message that popped up online
Mm.
titled "Celebrate Carefully." Our plan is to really unpack the advice in there, especially about, getting through celebrations safely.
Yeah, sounds good.
This one kind of hit home for me. The speaker talks about being at his niece's graduation, and it brought back all these memories of my own daughter's
Oh,
graduations.
yeah,
Yeah, you know that feeling, like immense pride, but also that parental radar is just always pinging in the background.
totally get that. And he starts off setting a particular tone, right? Laying out these really positive personal qualities, almost like a philosophy.
He does. Talks about things like harnessing passion, gentleness being a strength, keeping your word, finding the good in people.
And in yourself too, yeah. And recognizing struggles in others, the power of kind words. It's quite a list.
It really is. Valuing time, making peace in relationships, experiencing joy and love. It feels like he's setting the standard for how we should act.
And he uses that phrase calling card, like these are the things that really represent you.
Exactly. Like your credentials for being a decent human being.
Yeah. It gives you the sense of, personal responsibility right away, building
Yeah.
from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
But then what's interesting is how he shifts gears pretty dramatically, doesn't he? From that internal focus.
Oh, absolutely. So you've got this inspiring talk about personal growth, being good, and then bam, he
Yeah.
talks about being at the graduation, what he saw there. And it's not about values anymore. It's about, well, safety, real world concerns.
Okay.
He mentions noticing how some young women were dressed, and it just flipped a switch. He calls it his daddy mode kicking in.
Ah, okay. Protective instincts.
Right. And that leads him to this really strong analogy. He compares the whole scene to a nature documentary.
Like Wild Kingdom or something.
Exactly. He talks about carnivores like predators and then the herbivores, the graduates, sort of unsuspecting.
Wow, that's a stark comparison. Herbivores and carnivores at a graduation.
It is. He calls them prowlers. And hearing that, it just brought back all those feelings I had as a parent, you know? Your kid stepping out into this big world and you just worry about the hidden dangers.
Yeah, that analogy really paints a picture of potential threat lurking beneath the surface of a happy event, saying there might be people there with, well, bad intentions, looking for vulnerability.
It's a complete contrast to the usual joy you associate with graduation, right?
Definitely.
And he doesn't stop there. He brings in a specific Bible verse to really hammer it home.
Okay, which one?
Matthew 10:1 teens. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves.
Ah, okay. Sheep among wolves.
Be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. And he applies this directly to things like grad night, proms, parties.
So, framing these celebrations as places where you're potentially vulnerable, like sheep among wolves, that injects a serious note of caution.
It really does.
And that second part, wise as serpents, harmless as doves. It's not just about being scared, is it? It's like, be smart, be aware, but also maintain your own goodness.
Oh, yeah. Like, don't become a wolf yourself, but don't be naive either.
Right. A tricky balance.
Then he gets really practical, uses specific examples to show what these dangers might look like. Starts with just sitting at a dinner table.
Okay, how so?
Talks about, your salad plate, your dinner plate, your drink cup, just everyday stuff and how easily things could be messed with.
Right. This is where it gets very concrete, like the advice he apparently gave his daughters about never leaving a drink unattended.
Exactly. If you leave the table, even for a second, don't drink from that cup when you get back.
Because you just don't know. Someone could have slipped something in.
Mm-hmm. And he acts it out, kinda. Describes how someone might come up, congratulate you, maybe hand you some money.
Just a moment's distraction.
Right. And in that moment, while you're looking away, someone could tamper with your drink. He emphasizes how fast it could happen. It's pretty chilling to think about.
And it wasn't just drinks, was it? He mentioned food, too.
Yeah, that's what struck me too. Your salad, your main course, if you leave it unattended, the same risk applies.
The underlying message seems to be constant vigilance over anything you're going to consume. Any lapse could be an opening for someone.
He even tackles the idea of like putting a napkin over your drink, thinking you're being careful.
Yeah. What about that?
He basically says that's not foolproof either. Someone could still potentially do something while you're distracted or away for a moment. It's a bit sobering, realizing even precautions might not be enough.
Wow. Okay. So the real point here is just relentless awareness of your food and drink.
Absolutely. Proactive self protection. Because, as he puts it pretty bluntly, a seemingly innocent moment could lead to ending up in the back of someone's van.
That's incredibly direct.
Mm.
Leaves no room for misunderstanding the potential severity.
Yeah. No ambiguity at all. He finishes that part by just restating his firm belief. There are wolves out there. You have to prioritize your safety, especially during these big celebrations.
So you have this really interesting flow that it starts with building yourself up from the inside, all these positive values,
Right. Be a good person.
and then this sharp, almost jarring turn to hypervigilance about external threats. It's quite the juxtaposition.
It really is. Values first, then warnings.
It makes you wonder, I mean, does he think developing those internal strengths somehow helps you be more aware of the dangers? He doesn't explicitly link them, but the structure is suggestive.
That's a great point. Maybe being grounded helps you see clearly. So the core message seems to be navigate the world, embodying good traits, be the harmless dove, but simultaneously be acutely aware of threats, be the wise serpent.
That sums it up well, and that really brings up a big question, I think, for anyone listening. We all cherish these big moments, celebrations, milestones.
You want to be fully present, enjoy them.
Exactly. So how do you personally square that?
Yeah.
How do you balance the joy, the celebration, with this need for watchfulness, for safety? It's not always easy.
It really isn't. It's a tough balance. And hearing the speaker's perspective delivered with such intensity, it definitely gives you food for thought. Makes you consider how you approach these events in your own life. Maybe think about the strategies you already use or perhaps should use to stay safe without, walling yourself off from the joy of it all.
Yeah. What are those strategies for people? It's something worth reflecting on, definitely.